All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. This storyline, we'll just see where it's going to take us. It is a collective message. So right now it's not zodiac specific. If I see zodiacs, I'll add that in. And I will say normally I start these collectives out with some kind of a kind of like an anecdote or something real that happened, usually pertaining to my dog. And all I can say is, oh my gosh, when Aries gets saturated and cold and wet, he is like, he comes to get me and tell me that it's time for me to dry him. And I sing a little song as he gets dried with his towel. And oh, he just loves it. So, yes, we have been half frozen today. But anyway, guys, so nice to see you all tonight. Also, full disclosure, I actually already did a collective message. It is still processing. I will release that one afterwards, but I felt like I wanted to, for some reason, I don't know, the story didn't have the whatever I was looking for. So I needed to do a second one anyway, just for my brain. But we have reader and diviner. So to start out with, seer of unseen, the foresight, the insight, the cosmic connection, and the seeker of knowledge, the knowledge pursuer, the explorer of information. Now, if I put those two together and I'm like, oh, maybe this is, someone who is, they both have something that they seek that could be to try to figure out what comes next. So they could both be in a mindset and they could use different mechanisms for seeking knowledge of what comes next. Meaning they're both planners, meaning they're both individuals that could be into the esoteric or into the, the unseen but still felt energies. I mean, there's lots of things, scientific things that we know exist that are not visible. For a long time, they said radiation wasn't a real thing. Well, it's a real thing, that's for sure. But sometimes things are real, even if we don't have a way to test for them. And so I'm feeling like both of these characters, they probably could be a really good match because they share an interest in trying to find information, trying to find knowledge. But I do think that it's for a purpose. Eight of Swords. What's so interesting is these two, I think that they would have a lot in common, even if they approach things in different ways. And this says these two cannot seem to connect and communicate. In fact, maybe it's because of their differences, even though I'm seeing them as having a lot in common, they seem unable to bridge the gap for each other with each other, which is interesting because I have a hunch that these characters may both have a very unique ability to like pick up on energies in their own ways, even if they use different vocabulary to describe the same thing. That's always how I feel about like religious beliefs, so it doesn't matter what wording people use or how they pray or how they connect to the universe, because it's all kind of going to the same place, right? It's all kind of to the great up above, the great beyond, the great, however you say it. If you want to say grandfather sky or, grandmother earth or God or the creator or, any of those names, isn't it kind of all still the same sentiment? So if the emotion is the same, who cares about the words? Who cares about this vocabulary, because it's bigger than vocabulary. But I kind of feel like that's the way I would apply it here. These two could both have such a similarity, and yet they basically, and maybe they do speak different languages. Maybe he's more, no, it has to be scientifically proven, and she's more like, oh, I actually consult with the stars and, astrology, things like that. These two can't seem to bridge a gap together, nor can they seem to let each other go with this Six of Swords. Because even though this should be moving on, we have at least her, she's in a building that has like chain link on the window. She's not going anywhere. So they're both stuck on each other and can't move on from each other, but also can't connect to each other. Holy smokes. Okay, how are they going to bridge this gap? We have got the Four of Cups, and it is sideways. This is a card of boredom, it's a card of illusions, and it's a card of missed opportunities. When it's sideways, both of them have things to consult. Now, this card is kind of the anti of everything I just said, right? Because instead of having illusions, we have someone who's like making peace with things instead of having disappointment. It's, coming to terms with things. It's sitting on the fence and seeing both sides. If we sit on the fence, lots of times we say, oh, we use it derogatory. Oh, that person's a fence sitter. They just can't decide what they believe in. However, here's the thing, standing there, sitting on the fence, whatever, however, sitting, standing, what you can do is you can see both sides of an issue. And it's like, well, I'm not picking A or B because honestly, both have merit. Both sides have a point. Both things can actually have truth to them also. But we have this, shape of the tree, and the tree's shaped into a heart. Like this is about the topic of love. It's about the topic of emotion. So if these two were going to be able to bridge the gap, they would both have to make peace with the fact that maybe they both have a point. If these two have had arguments in the past and they don't see eye to eye, if they both care about each other, just like at the beginning, I don't know what prompted me to say it, but it's like, does it really matter if the vocabulary is not the same, if the emotion and the sentiment is the same? Does a creator really care if you, hold your hands like this and bow your head to pray, or if you stand outside on a mountaintop with your arms upturned and look up, toward the sky to talk to the creator? Does the creator care? I would think not. If they do, they're petty. Sorry, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. But I seriously doubt that anything big enough to create this planet cares whether or not our hands are clasped and our head is bowed, or if we're standing up, tilting our face upward, or if we're just not doing anything but thinking it in our heart. It just kind of feels like there's bigger stuff here. The little stuff doesn't matter. And while words do matter, and I think that's been a breakdown for these two, they don't understand how the other one operates, but I think that there must be love here. And so it doesn't have to be a missed opportunity, even though it's almost like these two maybe won't ever understand that they actually have so much in common. But if they can accept each other's perceived differences that I don't really think are that different at all, that might be the way to start them bridging the gap. We've got the Ace of Swords in the reverse. We got the Queen of Wands upright. Ace of Swords in the reverse is, to a certain extent, we can't get all the right words and answers out of each other. I know that's always what we hope for, right? We communication is so important. But this storyline challenges us to say, but what if communication isn't important? Not as much as treating each other well, respecting each other, understanding that you don't use the same words that I do. You don't speak the same language that I do. You think that her astrology stuff could be dumb to him. She thinks he's too, stringent, and, everything has to be quantified. And that could have been a huge source of contention between them, when in fact, how do they treat each other? Are they a lion and lioness? Are they an amazing matched pair? Do they treat each other with the utmost respect? Are they wildly attracted to each other? Do they help each other transform and grow? Then who the hell cares if they don't have the same vocabulary? And to a certain extent, who the hell cares if they don't communicate 100% effectively, or like in their communication, that's the thing that they can't quite see eye to eye on. What if that's what makes them great? The fact that they don't communicate the same way. They don't have the same exact same opinions. Sometimes there's too much emphasis put on, like, oh, we have to share the exact same this and that. What if words are in the way in this storyline? It's a different one because it challenges us. Both of these people start out not really with words so much, but with the seeking of knowledge. And yeah, I mean, of course I can come through the written word, but I'm just saying these two are kind of like cerebral, it feels like, in their own different ways. And so maybe communication will never be easy for them. Maybe that's what that first blockage is all about. Eight of Swords, that is what we say. Maybe they think identically, but they've never expressed it in the same way. I don't know. I kind of like this one because it is a little bit more challenging. It is a little bit more thought-provoking. And it says, why can't two people who seemingly are very different have absolute harmony together? This says they straight up can. We have a Four of Wands and we have the Chariot. This is like, it isn't black and white. We're so different from each other. Man, we'll never get on the same page. This isn't like, we're always going to be, warring with each other. This could actually instead be, look at our wonderful differences. Look at how different we are. Let's celebrate our differences and how much we actually like the fact that we don't think the same way, that we don't express the exact same way. What if that is what's going to make us always enticed, and it's always going to be exciting, as long as there is this mutual respect has to be there. The whatever the guiding light is, which is, I'm attracted to you for all the things that you do. If it turns into bitterness, sourness, oh, you're dumb, I don't agree with you, you're an idiot, if that's what it becomes, and absolutely not. There's no way that that'll be successful, right? If characters don't have respect. But in this duo, they are a perfectly matched, like, I guess I'll say an alpha pair. And if they looked at it that way, this could be so incredible. But let me ask this. Is that what they're headed for? Is that what this whole storyline is about? Is that it doesn't matter that they come from opposite viewpoints, opposite religions, opposite like spiritualities, or opposite beliefs in things like, science versus esoteric, or, there's a million different things that we could say could be different about these two. It's just presented itself like, the knowledge seeker and the diviner. So we've got the Three of Pentacles and we have the Six of Swords. I do think that this storyline, there's something here about, like, because we've seen her with the Six of Swords twice. She may have taken quite a bit of insult and been like, they don't respect this or that about how I believe. And that really hurts. And this, and on their side, they might have been like, you know what, she's not working with me. And if these two, that could be the source of a lot of problems for them. If she says, I need to move on because they don't hear me, they don't agree with me, I feel disrespected. There's, just because we, Ricky Gervais has the greatest comment. He says, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. And that, I'm sorry, it's kind of a little harsh button perhaps for her, but just because she feels offended doesn't mean she's right. He doesn't have to agree with her, and he didn't call her stupid just because he may not agree with her. Him, her, it doesn't matter. It isn't about genders, but we're kind of doing this little dig right now to figure out, like, what's going on with these two. And meanwhile, he doesn't have any business saying, well, she won't work with me. Well, darling, it's not your way or the highway. She doesn't need to work the same way you work in order for, something to have value or merit. She doesn't need to do the same kind of work that you do. Maybe he thinks, work is supposed to be a certain clock in, whatever, 9 to 5 or something like that. She may work in a completely different energetic way. And maybe he hasn't been able to comprehend, like how the two of them will be successful together, or he thinks she is resistant because she won't see things his way, or she won't work with him on certain things. She's not going to see it your way, probably at any point in time. But again, that doesn't mean she's like bullheaded and just won't support you. If he's feeling unsupported and she's feeling disrespected somehow, they might both be totally wrong about that, and they're going to have to backpedal a little bit of that and ask themselves, wait a second, is that really the way this, my perceived partner actually was treating me, or is that the way I was taking it? Because if two people actually respect each other, then it could just be like, but you're supposed to, like, agree with me and do it my way. If you don't, then I must be being disrespected, right? No, not necessarily at all. In fact, ideally, we can hold completely different viewpoints and still respect somebody and still find a ton in common. It kind of hints that these two are being challenged because I feel like these two are nuts about each other. They're already in love with each other. They want to be there together with each other. But how, when we're so different, how could this ever work? And it says that it is a big challenge for both of them, that they would have to pause and say, am I actually truly disrespected, or are they truly not working well with me, or am I just perceiving it that way? Do they actually show me respect? Do they show me that they care about me? Then isn't that more important than what our other differences may be? Does this person have my back in all these other ways? I kind of think that these two could be amazing together, and they could be very different from each other. But let's just see. Universe, can they be successful? 7 of coins. Yeah, and they'd probably grow a ton together too. This is not a storyline that is, they would challenge each other, and maybe they don't want to sign up for that. Maybe they want somebody easy that they, fit together with, so perfectly. But I bet you they'd get annoyed if someone was identical to them in every way. I don't think intelligent people just want yes men around them. I don't think intelligent people want to just have things where they constantly have the, like unchallenged awesomeness, because and I'm not saying that they would want to have conflict, but be able to like entertain different ideas and from someone that they respect and be like, oh, that's actually, you've got a great point. I didn't know that. Tell me more. Maybe he doesn't know everything she knows about crystal balls and astrology, and she doesn't know everything that he's read about other aspects of science. Both of these individuals could really grow a lot in their firmly held beliefs, and they could actually expand. With this, it's funny because we have a 7 of swords here too. I almost think this is why they chose each other, and they've been lying to each other about that. I think both of them have triggered something in each other where it's like they either both kind of already have a little secret belief in what the other one thinks, and they've kind of wanted to be around someone. He certainly, whether he wants to admit it or not, he's the one busting in here. I think he's drawn to her because even if he doesn't want to admit it, even if he wants to say, oh, astrology's stupid, I think he's interested in it. I think that there's already something there that he's like, I don't know, like there's this mysterious force in the universe and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's all hogwash, but I'm really drawn to her. And I know that a bunch of stuff that there is something to what she says, but I'm not going to admit it, but I want to hear more about it, because he's kind of lying over here and busting in and sneaking in and wanting to learn more about this. And I'm just feeling like we got a double 7. So it could be both of them that maybe would really benefit from being around each other. God, they definitely don't like not being together, but they also say it's not successful when they are together. Come on, you guys. We're back to that between a rock and a hard place, right? We're back to we can't seem to be successful together, but God, I miss you. Well, I think it's time these two put their differences aside a little bit. This is like, can they be successful together? Well, they're going to lie through their teeth and act like they're better off apart when they really aren't. We have the Faith card, which would be the Hierophant in any other deck. Strong Taurian energy here. And we have this, maybe they both need to go and, pray on it or light a candle about it, or, consult the Pakia, the alligator god, or whatever they believe in, right? But they need to have a little bit of faith. It's not the George Michael's Faith song that I'm thinking of, even though, I want to start clapping the tempo on that one. There's another song, Have a Little Faith in me, have a little faith in you, something like that. I keep feeling like it's, I sing Silver Thunderbird sings it, but anyway, we'll move on because I can't get the song in my head clearly. We have different forms of faith for different energies of individuals, kind of like seeing and connecting to their higher self through their own method. And here's the unifying light. It's crazy how this storyline just came full circle back around to what I said at the very beginning before cards presented it. But does it really matter how they get there if they all arrive at that same beautiful divine light, which is like, this is the person I want to marry. This is my person. It doesn't make sense. We come from different parts of the world. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different opinions. We come from all these different things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because there's this divine, beautiful light that is maybe love between us. And somehow, some way, this is my person. And I know it, even though it doesn't make sense on paper. That's what this looks like to me. But they will have to have the faith to say, it's not about like, well, I don't see how we're going to be successful together, so we should just throw this in the garbage and walk away. They can't walk away. Neither one of them has been able to, even though they've damn sure been trying, and it makes them both freaking miserable to walk away from it. So instead, they would have to have some faith that things could work out. And that means throwing away the differences that's not true. Let me reframe that. It's not about dismissing their differences. It's embracing the differences intentionally and saying, we are never going to see eye to eye on this. I love you anyway. You're nuts and I am nutty about you. Like it feels like they have to just go ahead and roll with the weirdness. And I don't think either one of these characters are weird. I just think that they're going to have to find kind of a fun, more lighthearted way to say, you're my weirdo. You're such a weirdo, but man, you're my weirdo. Whatever it is, whatever lighthearted way to acknowledge that we don't see eye to eye. I don't get it. I don't get how you operate, but I love you. So I guess you're going to operate the way you need to, because that's maybe even what part, the part that made me love you. I don't know. These two have so much possibility for great happiness here, but they do have to get out of the way of this connection. And right now, it seems like that's been the biggest hurdle. Who's going to make a move? Is either character going to make a move? Let me just ask. Angelina Davina, you angel. Thank you, honey. Ace of Swords. I say, who's going to make the move? The Ace of Swords says there's this sword of truth that I guess it's whoever has the divine inspiration first, although so far they've been pretty much par for course this entire time. Whomever maybe is an air sign, whomever has been, sometimes I look at the air sign, gosh, look at this. We have these two gigantic cobras that are, like even kind of curled around each other, necks crisscrossed. We've got the heart, and kind of instead of it looking like a dagger is through it hurting the heart, it's more like this is, they're pegged together. This is a karmic cycle of insisting that they can't be together. They just need to change something, right? They've got to, year of the snake is next year. So the change is imminent for both of them. But this almost says that they'll both probably wind up reaching out to each other, maybe freakishly, almost at exactly the same time. Just because we have the word karmic there doesn't mean that these two are karmics, like a negative viewpoint. But I just look at a karmic cycle as something where we keep doing the same thing again and again and again, and it's not yielding great results. So why don't we change what we're doing and see if it yields better results? And in this case, they both kind of have to shed an old skin, because these two are interwoven already so heavily, and they're kind of like, they're already where they met the person they were supposed to meet in this storyline. They just have to let go of some. It's hard not to develop convictions even when we think we're open-minded. It's hard not to maybe still develop opinions that are like, well, but this is how the world works, because I know how it works. This is how it works. This is how I see things, and I'm still open-minded and non-judgmental. But on the other hand, things have to work the way I said they work. And sometimes we can be both of those things. Imagine we're very open, except when it comes to like our own, what we expect. We expected a partner who's supposed to mirror us. Well, maybe a different part of them mirrors. Maybe their hearts mirror each other and their hearts are really good together, but their intellectual opinions are very different. So this is a great storyline, because it really lays it out to where not all characters have to have like the perfectly synced up energy in order to be still really successful together. All right. I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks so much, you guys. Really great to see you. Unique to Freak. Great to see you tonight. Hi, Isles. Oh my gosh, it's so late there, but it's 1:11. That is awesome. Hey, Roxanne. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Bradley Bear, thanks. I'm really honored you're here. Hi, Darren. Hi, Pure Energy. Thank you, hun. Yes, is it Yesy Art? Or Yes, Why Art? Yes. I'm going to say Yes, Why Art. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sorry, I try to get names right, but forgive me that sometimes I fumble. Janet 22, hi, sweetie. Hi, SM. Just me, great to catch you. Hi, Lalu. You're so sweet, Lalu. Hi, Cole. Dan Alshaw, it's been a while. Dan, great to see you. Ash Cash, hey, darling. Hey, Violet. You're so cute. You wanted to be first in the house. Carrie Days and Black Butterfly beat you. But you're still in the top 3. I mean, come on, Violet. That's pretty darned amazing. That means you still take home what, a silver, right? Or bronze, right? Is it gold, silver, bronze? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't watch the Olympics this year. I missed it. 11-8, great to see you, hon. Hi, Sissy. Nikki, oh, great to catch you tonight. Are you sleeping, Nancy? Did I wake you up? Well, sweet dreams, my dear. All right, you guys, I will see you again shortly. I am going to bounce on over to Tarot Dog. And let me think. I'm going to do a today's topic on this one as well. That'll break at midnight. I might try to get one Zodiac out as well this evening, but I'm just kind of keeping track of my lungs just a bit tonight. Bruce Reed, so wonderful to see you. The Bruce, how are you, honey? I hope you're doing really well. I'm always so happy to hear from you. Merry Christmas a little bit early. I know I changed the backdrop from Christmassy to Greece, but I needed just a little bit of lightness too, not just snow. So we'll go back to some Christmassy stuff before Christmas comes around. But anyway, you guys, lots of love. Thanks again for being here, you guys. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up. I so appreciate you. Bye for right now.